what they are doing, so that other people can look at this and learn from it if it's happening to them.
It's very cool, and thanks for doing it. Now, is there anything that we missed on this, guys? Any points you want to cover, or comments or key points about this before we go on to anything else that you guys want to go over, Jeremy?
Let me see. I think that was pretty much it. Like I said, I was expecting him to use profanity or just kind of, laugh at him cheesily and say, "Ha ha, we got you." But I like the way he handled it, and I'll be looking at his on Alan's site a lot more for other things he puts on there, since I like the way he does things and the way the style that he writes, and it's pretty straight to the point. I like it.
Yeah, very cool. You guys definitely check out hackedgadgets.com. Alan, anything else you want to add to this before we go over to Jeremy?
Just one piece of comedy.
Yes.
In sort of looking over what the company is all about, the globalpcprotection.com is their website. I found that they actually were operating a different company name before this. I guess after a while, they get known, and they sort of have to move on.
Yeah.
And so I found that consultpcexperts.com was actually one of their previous company names. And so I just did a quick who is, just to sort of see if I could find any address information or anything of that nature. And I found that the domain had expired. They didn't re-register it.
Yes.
So of course I registered it.
You did?
You betcha.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's hilarious. That's right.
And now if you do a search for Global PC Protection on Google,
which I did, and that's how I found it out.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's the second one right after theirs with all this information about that they are scammers.
Really, that's so awesome. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm trying to pull it up on my desktop. It's not cooperating. Cool. Alan, why don't you do you want to stay on the line with us? We'll go over some computer repair stuff and some email questions, and you could probably help us out with some of this.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, Jeremy, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, like I talked about earlier, one of the things I had to redo was my website. Nothing that Steve did. His pack is great. But when you want to get a little bit bigger and do a little bit more out there, I think you have to kind of add some more things. I think you're going to revise that, aren't you, Steve?
Yes, in a couple of weeks, it should be out and done.
Excellent. Good. So basically, I had Leaf Glass gave me a hand, and Leaf, thanks, man. You're awesome. Leaf's been so helpful and everything. I've been listening to the other Podnutz show, and he's been on there for the round table or whatever you call it now. And so Steve's just doing a really great job in the community. I really appreciate him what he's doing. But he helped me get basically it's the same template that he's doing. I did a WordPress site and just made it pretty basic, and that way I can add content. Matter of fact, I even took some of his terminology, and he said, "Hey, go for it." The little Zopim thing, I'm trying that. I can't quite figure that out completely, but I'm learning.
Zopim, for those of us who don't know, what is that?
Oh, that's that like instant messenger thing that comes up on your site. I know Lisa talked about it here a while back, and Leaf, they both talked about that program. It's free, and basically it's set up so like if a customer goes to your site, it'll pop up and let you know if somebody's on there. And I kind of figured out how to make it go to my cell phone. That's how Leaf has it set up, and I can't get it to quite work right. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's not really a high priority, but it's one of those things that's be kind of cool to have on there. So if a customer gets to your site and you need to see that, you can see where they're from. So if it says, "Hey, they're from my location," which is Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I can say, "Hey, can I help you with anything?" But if it's from Indiana or something like that, it's probably just a bot or something like that. It doesn't really tell me anything.
Right.
But the cool thing is it's really easy to interact with. So like I said, I might just have set mine up wrong, but again, it's not a rush. Another thing Leaf has pointed me to is he's doing an online backup with companies as a reseller, and he's happy with some of the features and want to try some other features. And he pointed me to a company called LiveDrive, and I'm reselling for them. I just started that. They're out of London, out of the UK. So some major corporations, if you try to sell to them, it may be an issue because some of the privacy policy, they can't send anything overseas because the UK laws are a little different. But the cool thing is I get a person to talk to. When I called them up, they were very friendly, very helpful. It's just I have to call them before 11 o'clock my time in the morning. Otherwise, they're closed for the day because they close at 6. But their package, basically, if you can either do $60 a month, with a $159 setup fee, $159 setup fee, or you can pay for 1 year up front, which is what I chose to do for $600 a year, and you can sell unlimited. It's unlimited backup, unlimited computers, and I'm basically selling mine for $15 a month. I got 4 customers to basically pay for my setup. So I said, hey, you're guinea pigs. Would you mind giving me a shot? They're customers that I trust, and they're friends too. So I got them set up. They signed up for a year, $15 a month, so it's $180 a year. So basically, between 4 of them, I paid for the service, and I'm trying it too. The other feature I like about the LiveDrive is that it will work on some servers. I'm running a Windows Home server, and it will work on that. The only downside is I have to be logged into an account, so it's not a big deal. All I did is I threw a monitor and mouse and keyboard on my server and just basically shut the monitor off and let it back up. But it's been doing great. I mean, I've uploaded probably 700 gig in the last 3 weeks and no problem. So it's been working really well. And I've got other customers. The only one I'm having one to test it with. He's a photographer. So he literally has a Drobo with over 10 terabyte of information. So we've been trying little pieces at a time, little chunks. But he's using an Apple Mac Mini as kind of the head for the Drobo. So it's a map drive, and it works fine, and it does support that. Where Carbonite doesn't support
unlimited backup?
Unlimited backup, yep. So we started setting it up, and there is some minor glitches with the Apple software, the application that goes on the Mac. So we're going to wait till they get that bug worked out, and then we're going to try it again. So we uploaded, I think, 100 gig just to try it, and he was pleased with it, but just want to make sure it's stable. So once we get that one bug worked out, they're supposed to release an update either this week or next week, and then I'll get back over there and we'll finish up and test it from there. So,
how much does it cost?
I'm paying the 1 year upfront rate, which is $600 a year. So basically, anything over $600 that I charge, I make that year as a profit. So once I feel stable, once I feel confident about the product, I'll go ahead and start advertising to my customers via email, and let them know I'm going to start doing that. Right now, it's on my site. It's kind of more informational. But other than that, it's not anything I'm going to sign people up right away unless they really want it, and let them know, hey, we're still working on the bugs with it. And so that's why I went to people I trust.
How much would it cost a customer per month?
I'm charging $15 a month for unlimited. They can go to LiveDrive themselves and purchase it for like $7.95 a month, unlimited computers, unlimited backup. They can do that for the $8. But the benefit they're getting is they're talking to me. They're calling somebody here, and then I can handle anything that they have, and I'm also setting it up for them. So anything I can remote in, if they make any changes or settings or tweaks, anything they need. Most of my customers, I can just remote into their system and say, check it out, see what's going on. And they say, hey, worst case scenario, if it's not working right, I'll call LiveDrive in the morning, and we'll get back to you, take care of it. So they don't have to call them up and talk, geek and stuff like that. They can just have me handle it for them. So that's what they're basically paying for by charging that. And I've looked at other pricing. Basically, if you go to the Carbonite, what used to be called the Pro was most of my customers who were on it, the ones that actually have done my $15 a month, they're paying about $50 to $75 a month for about 75 gig of backup. And
50 to 75?
Yeah, they charge more for the business package. Now they're doing Carbonite Business, which is 150 gig a year, I think, something like that, for like $229 a year is what they're charging, $229. So I figure I'm beating them at $15 a month or $180 a year for unlimited backup, unlimited PCs. The other thing is if most of my residential customers, they usually have 2 or more PCs. So I figure at $15 a month, I'll charge. I'm actually pretty much breaking even with Carbonite if they had 2 home user accounts.
I got you.
One thing I don't like about Carbonite, I did try to call the tech support or the service, because I was looking at doing before I talked to Leaf about doing my own backup, and if I could be a reseller, what would they do? Well, I was literally on hold for 30 minutes until I hung up, just for sales, not tech support, but sales with
that's
Carbonite.
Not good.
So I'm like, no, I'm not going through this. So that's why I started talking to Leaf about it, and we went in that route. So
cool. I'm not a fan of Carbonite either. I tried to sign up with an affiliate account for them, so to promote their product, and they declined me. And I actually took it a little personally, because what better audience to be an affiliate to promote their stuff than like a podcast like this?
Yeah, agreed.
Very short-sighted, stupid, and whatever.
And they also have another thing on there too that explicitly doesn't say, but you have to kind of delve into it on Carbonite. They do say that that it is unlimited, but the idea is they only support the hard drive attached to that's in your computer. They don't support any attached hard drives,
Right.
like your USB backup hard drives like that. They don't support anything like the Windows Home Server. They won't support that. That's
Right.
actually going to be a business account, which is the $230 a year. They also, you can look in their wording also, they basically will let you upload 100 gig of data without any throttling, and then they start to throttle it at between the 100 and 200 gig mark. And it says right in there that after that, it says, little asterisk, a little fine print says, if you go above, I think it was 200 gig, that your significant upload speeds will be varied or something like that.
I see.
So that's why I decided not to go with them. And I said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to do this. I want to do something my customers are not going to be throttled. So all these things I called and talked to. I talked to the same person, Ian. I think Ian Burgess is his name or something like that. The same guy I talk to every time on the reseller through LiveDrive. Call up tech support. Hey, this is Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? I remember that. He kind of remembers who I am, which is nice.
Good.
And I said, hey, this is what I'm looking at. These are the issues Carbonite has, and he said they're familiar with Carbonite. And I told him, why should I go with you? And he basically put these things out, and he showed me the Carbonite site where they sell these things. This is why we're a little bit better. And I said, I totally get it. So I am thinking about offering a second tier package for people who mainly have maybe one computer. Maybe do $10 a month. But then one thing that this reseller program allows you to do is you can actually select how much backup they have. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a 1 terabyte for $10 a month, and then kind of make it a little bit cheaper. But I don't know. I'm still trying to work out all the bugs on the contract. I'm actually using part of the package I got. What was his name? The book that I bought. I can't think of his name. Dan. Yeah, from Acrobo.
Dan Hand.
Yeah, Dan Hand. I looked at his contract, but his is more, I think, geared toward business. So I tried to rewrite it a little bit and tweak it since I bought it with the book. But I'm really not getting anywhere on it. I'm having a couple of customers look at it who are paying for it right now. They're looking at it and see what they think about the contract. So I need to write it better. I need to figure out a way to make that look good.
Okay.
So, but anyways, that's kind of what I got going on there. The other thing is, like I said, I have some tips on my site that I'm starting to do. Kind of one of the things we talk about, what are the programs that I use? We usually talk about this, on Podnutz, is, what techniques do you use? What programs do you use? How do you clean up? I basically put out an article on there. I have something that all my customers get. It's called Toolbox. And I've been doing it for several years, and it's convenient for my customers. It says, hey, just go to your Toolbox, and it's a little folder on their desktop with links to all the tools that I use. So why everyone needs a Toolbox, you can check that out, and you'll see exactly what I do as far as what programs I use. I put links on there, and even specifically how I do it. So it's pretty cool, and I'm thinking about going through in details on how to run each of those tools for customers who don't want my monthly maintenance or my maintenance package and want to just do kind of their own thing. So and at least they'll have step-by-step how to do it on their own, so they're saving some money, but at least I'll make time to show how to run each of those programs individually.
Now, why are you putting these articles on your site? What do you hope to get from this?
I'm hoping to get traffic to my site for people who basically weed out the people who don't want to pay. They'll come to my site, they'll get some of the stuff that they want to do, they can try it themselves, and then if they get stuck, they'll call me. That's what I'm kind of looking at doing.
I got you.
So I'm kind of trying to keep it as two kind of techniques. I'm going to do news and tutorials. Tutorials is more of for those who want to do the do-it-yourselfers, and then the news is going to be kind of information things, like I did one on Google Music, just to kind of vary it. So just to drive a little more traffic. So
gotcha. Very cool. And your site looks great. So
thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. And Leaf helped me a lot. I really appreciate Leaf's help, like I said. Because I had no idea how to use WordPress. And
yeah.
I'm not fluent in WordPress, but I can at least speak it now. So another thing I was going to talk about is I talked about a PC helper last time with Doug. Doug, he's a local computer guy, and I turned him on to the show, and he really liked it. He said, the first show he listened to was the one that I was on there, so it's kind of cool. So we're looking at partnering and doing some work together.
Sweet.
The idea, because we're both small business, his concern is, if he goes out on vacation, who's going to, take care of his customers? And same thing with me. So it's kind of hard to want to get bigger accounts, because if you need to be there 24/7, you can't go anywhere. You're married to them. And so one of the things we did is he gave me a trial run during Thanksgiving. He went skiing, I think, with his family, and he said, hey, my customer's going to call you. And I told him straight up, hey, what I won't do is I won't take your customers. What they'll do is they'll call me, and I'll take care of them that week. And he said, just go ahead and charge your regular rate, and I'll just refer them to you. And then I took care of his customers, and then I had a couple call me back the following week. I said, hey, Doug's back in town, call him. And so I just want to have integrity and do the right thing, and then I expect him to do the same thing for me when I'm out of town.
Yeah, that's going to